Yes, we've just been chatting about the plight of the electricity workers, and we're told that we shouldn't worry. They are doing very, very well. But this morning we're looking at the impasse over the takeover of management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, by the Canadian firm Manitoba Hydro International. This has brought into focus a situation where the National Union of Electricity Employees here in Nigeria, they have and then, of course, the Senior Staff Association of Electricity Workers, all of them have been thinking that there is a need for change, but not the kind of change that the PHCN and the federal government seem to be preferring. But we have our guests in the studio to discuss this. I will start from my right. We've got the essay to the Minister of Power, Mr. Sidon Adunoba. Great to have you here this morning.
Thank you very much.
So, and then of course we have our other guest, who is Mr. Bede Okpara, who is the President, Senior Staff Association of Electricity Workers. Thank you very much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. Now, should we start with you, Mr. Okpara? Let's start with you before we come to Mr. Adunoba. Tell us, what is the fear or fears of the electricity workers, both the senior staff and the union generally?
If you are talking about the fears, that means that you know about the situation. Okay.
Okay, you can start with telling us the situation as of today.
Okay, thank you.
As of today.
As of today, we are saying, government, you can go ahead with privatization if you insist. But labor liabilities must be settled before.
What are those liabilities?
Naturally, if in a situation of privatization, we know that new investors are going to take over. And if they are going to take over, they may not be ready to pay for
the private enterprises may not be ready to pay.
Yes, may not be ready to pay for the terminal benefits of the workers for the part they have played in PHCN.
Okay, so what are those terminal benefits that you have concerns about that the private sector organization might not be able to?
Might not be ready to.
Might not be ready to.
Yes.
Have you been in any kind of engagement with the government and with the private organization coming in, both the one from Canada and any other one that might have any interest? Have you engaged them to confirm whether they may want to or may not?
I want to say that before now, we've been saying no to privatization.
Why?
But after now, okay, before this time we've said, okay, government, you can go ahead with privatization as far as you settle labor liabilities. That's why we entered into negotiations with government. For the past 14 months, we've been negotiating. We've come to, would I say, temporary close of negotiation. At that point, we had a stalemate with government. Government is saying that they will not pay us gratuity and that we must move over to the 2004 Pension Reform Act. And of course, the issue of severance had not been fully negotiated. So, we are saying that we have a condition of service, which is a product of collective bargaining. And this condition of service, we can't just throw it aside and take on a new program or Pension Reform Act that came in 2004, when we are already doing better than what the PENCOM thing is providing. And in that law, we took time to study and discover that the law says that if you are doing better than what the law says, go ahead. We have a superannuation fund in the system. And in this superannuation fund, we are contributing 25%. Even people who retired last month, they are paid based on defined benefits. And we are saying that now that we are leaving, Why do we go and accept the Pencom Reform Act that is not better than what we are doing?
Okay.
That is to move between, to start, instead of 25%, we are talking about 15% now.
Okay. Sidon is here, thankfully. Yeah. So, Sidon, your reaction. They say they're not averse to privatization. Their issues are mainly issues of, okay, you want us to go, fine, pay us, and we will go in peace. Pay us what is due us.
Yes, well, I'm happy. He's my very, very good friend. And the good thing is that he's a professional first and foremost. And I'm happy he's the person here. On this issue, with all due respect, Engineer Opera knows the truth. He has been dragged into a position together with his association.
Is the truth different from what he has told us?
Listen, take it easy, okay? Take it easy, I'm coming.
Okay.
He's been dragged into this by the leadership of the Union of Junior Workers, who has been more interested in propaganda, not the truth. First of all, I take exception to the title of this topic, the plight of electricity workers. I said this thing and I ask anybody to challenge me, anybody anywhere in the world, including my very good friend here. Professor Nnaji has done for the workers more than any other minister of power in our history. As recently as June last year, they got 50% increase across the board in their salaries. We feared appreciable increase in productivity. There was no way to pay them. Professor Nnaji went to the president, got 9 billion naira as grants, not loans, to enable them to pay for the first 3 months. Professor Nnaji now got this administration to accept a certain percentage of shares in the company to be privatized exclusively for PHCN workers. Professor Nnaji has now converted almost 11,000 casual workers who have been employed for the past 5 to 7 years working as casual workers for the past 5-7 years, earning some of them 5,000 naira a month, to the permanent staff, and even with retroactive effects. Professor Nnaji got them 57 billion naira for payment as monetized benefits 7 years after they were denied.
Sidon.
Okay, excuse me.
Sidon, I beg your
go
pardon.
on.
I beg your pardon,
Okay.
Sidon. I will not allow you to go on. We asked
right.
you a specific question. Please answer that question.
I'm asking that question.
And stick to the question. Thank you very much.
No, this is the background because the topic you gave here shows I've also become a victim of propaganda, and that's what I do not like. Having said that, what exactly is the issue in contention? They have kept on changing. First of all, the initial claim was that the transmission company of Nigeria has been privatized through the back door. This is where there was. I must pay us our terminal benefits. Everybody knows that the law says you cannot privatize TCN, transmission company. The law, we have the 2005 Electric Power Sector Reform Act says the government to continue to own, but managed by a company with an established record of performance in this field. The 2010...
So Manitoba is only coming to manage. No.
That is all.
I beg your pardon.
With only 8. Yeah.
I beg your pardon.
No, please.
We must stop you to explain things to us
I
properly.
Repeat, Manitoba is coming here to manage. It's not privatized. And they're coming with only 8 executives. Because, you see, the way you're talking, because you have become unknown to you, a victim of that propaganda.
I am not a victim. I'm here to ask you questions, Sidon, and you will answer the questions you're asked.
And I'm answering you very satisfactorily. Manitoba is there to manage. It's not investing.
And if I have to interject, I have to interject you to explain further. Explain clearly to all of us.
Excuse me, Alero, my friend. We're in error, and it's important that you're in error, please. I think we must have the grace to admit it. Manitoba came here to manage, nothing else.
That's what
I said. For only 3 years, excuse me. I'm coming for only 3 years, okay? And the no Nigerian is losing his job. Not one person, not even the CEO. They're yet to understudy with a view to taking over, to be managed by Nigerians. That's the true position about what they call their entitlements. Please, it's good for us to have these facts.